Hello guys, my name is Amit Sani and I welcome you in this daily Hindu analysis video. In the morning these videos come, in the evening the MCQ lessons they come. So current affair based, context based and derived questions we are discussing in the evening lesson. So the facts in the newspaper also, in the magazine also, in some other PIB source or any other government website source I am taking questions from, and here we are discussing the articles and important details. Let's start the lesson. 12th of July it is, and the Pocket News app trending on the Google Play. You can download that. You can access these affordable courses by StudyIQ. Top faculties they have made these courses, so the description is given below the video, and all these important courses are available. You can call on these numbers and you can visit the website also. And here the PDF you can get here. The Facebook page is there. Actually it is a group, it's not a page, it's a group. Actually one page is also there with my name, and this is the group. So there you can find the PDF, and you can find the link to Telegram channel also, and you can follow me on Instagram too. Now these are the important words that I found today. You can use them from the articles today. Important for GS paper 2 mainly. It is talking about the electoral reforms. The former CEC SY Qureshi, he talks on this electoral reforms issue many times. He talked on the EVM issue also, and electoral reforms are a kind of a delight for him. When the MPs they discussed in legislature there, and they raised 6 major themes there: appointment system for election commissioners and chief election commissioner, money power, electronic voting machines, idea of simultaneous elections, and the role of social media that they call cheat India platforms. For sure they are cheat India platforms as a consequence today, and the government data and surrogate advertisements. All things are very controversial and very in a problematic form today. You see how the elections can be fairer and more representative. These all issues should be solved first, then only we can imagine about that. You see the condition of the body, Election Commission of India. It's a constitutional body, we all know about that. Article 324 talks about them. And chief election commissioners is an important constitutional post, and he is appointed by the president, but he cannot be removed in the same simple manner. Impeachment is the process, although the name impeachment is not given, but in the same form the Supreme Court judge is being removed. In the same way we can remove chief election commissioners, but the additional 2 election commissioners which were added later, and they changed the whole process with the consensus, the decisions are coming, so they were added later, and no such condition is there regarding removal or appointment like CEC with them. So they can be removed anytime, they can be appointed any time, but they can influence the decision making process. So that's the case, and that's why this problematic and faulty process is being adopted here, and it is going on. Second, the money power. According to a report, 70,000 crore rupees were wasted. In a sense, we must say it is wasted, because there is no meaning of this kind of campaigning. First of all, divisive and just emotionally provocative campaigning. No talks of development, no issues discussed there, and it is a one-way communication. I always say these are the one-way communications. So what is the use of spending this much money, spending thousands of crores of rupees? You can do a lot of great things with that. Thousands of crores of rupees and one-way communication. Just big stages are created, pictures, videos are circulated, and nothing productive it is coming from there. You can address the people with the help of media also, with the help of radio also, with the help of some other internet platform also. If in the same manner you are taking this campaign, what is the use of those heavy spendings there? What is the use? And the Supreme Court decision regarding the issue in 1975 Supreme Court talked about the election expenditure. So that decision should be maintained there. So that is the case of money power. Electronic voting machine, as I have discussed earlier also, electronic voting machines, they have solved many problems like booth capturing and any other problems from the 80s and 90s which were at the peak at that time. So those are solved, but it is not like that it has made the process very perfect. It is not the case. They are not giving the guarantee of perfection. So when they are not giving the guarantee of perfection, then there can be alternative ways of corruption. Who knows if the guarantee is not there? Why these developed countries are not following the way of electronic voting machine? And why only Election Commission of India and the government is giving this guarantee? What is the reason? When they are inviting other parties, then no great experts are there. Some experts are there, but not adequate in a sense. There are technologies available, and you can employ those technologies, but no issue of discussing with them. And you see, it should be given to specific expert teams. It is not the logical way that you have the allegation on yourself and you only given this clarification. If suppose somebody says that Amit Sani is a fraud, then I will say that I am giving this guarantee, and come to me and prove it to me at my home, and no need to go to courts and no need to go to anywhere. I'm giving you the guarantee that I am not a fraud. So would you believe me? No. But we are believing Election Commission of India because it's a constitutional office. What kind of logic is this? So that's why the process should be handled with utmost perfection and the professionalism there. And you see, you can give it to IIT experts panels, you can give it to some foreign experts panel who can give you this guarantee that is it a foolproof system or not. Otherwise, you have solved the issue of booth capturing. But if any kind of fraud is going on with EVMs, how can you know? It's a silent way of a new way of corruption. So that is why it is not a guarantee that it's 100% safe way. Only the guarantee is given by the same body who is being alleged here. So how can we say that? And the issue of appointing those people as commissioners, what is their authenticity, their integrity and their fearlessness? Ambedkar said that the tenor cannot be fixed. Why? Because there is no security in the constitutional provisions that if a naive person, an inefficient person or a fool takes up that office and he works in the pressure of executive or the any other particular sphere, then it is no use of running that office. It would be inadequate and inefficient. So when there is no provision to give that security, so we cannot make that tenor a fixed tenor. So that is also the case, and that was cited by a MP there. So that was a logic by Mr. Ambedkar. And the previous reports, 1962 report by Atal Bihari Vajpayee on electoral reforms, the Goswami committee was there, the Indrajit Gupta committee was there on funding of elections. So all these things, they have made many recommendations there, and they need to answer some very deep questions there. Why they have removed the cap on corporate donations, 7.5% cap on corporate donations. It was there, but now they have removed it. What is the reason? You see, 70,000 crore rupees are if they are spent, or maybe 60,000 crore rupees according to a different report, then this is not a small amount. You cannot crowdfund it simply with the legitimate means. For sure, black money is rooting here. And then you say that we will not tell you about these expenses, that who is funding us, which company or which particular person is giving us money and how much money is being given. So this is all a secret system, and this is all a fraud system. Actually, they introduced election bonds to increase the transparency, but actually in the reality they have made this a very fraud system, because now they have made amendments in the FCRA Act also, so that more money can be given to these parties and all. And right now the condition is a particular party is getting the maximum amount of funds. So according to their adjustment, they have made these things, and they are hounding before other people for the same FCRA Act, for the same Foreign Contribution Act. The people who are working for humanitarian issues, some civil society groups, some NGOs and all, they are hounding for those people with the same FCRA Act, but they made amendments for their funding, election funding. And about the funding, we will not tell you how much fund we are getting from which source. So how can we know? Suppose a shell company is created, no proper business, just a fraud system is going on, and it raises crores of money, and that is given to this political party. So we will never know which company was that, which company gave how much money to which party. So what is the problem in revealing that fund? If I am a legitimate person, if I am giving some money to some party, then there is no issue of that particular funding, because it is regarding the elections. So why you cannot tell us about that funding? And about the big funds, maybe you give some particular clarification regarding the bigger funds, like funds more than 5,000-10,000 rupees. You reveal all of them, and there should be a perfect real-time monitoring of that particular thing, and that should be on a public domain. important technologies can be deployed there, like the blockchain technology that can be deployed there, that cannot be manipulated there. So that's why all things would be transparent, but they do not want to give you the transparent system, because these are fraud people. That is the clear case, that is the clear understanding here, and there is no issue in hiding those things. And you clearly see that 60-70,000 crore rupees are being spent here. That shows us that surely there is a fraud money here that's working. So regarding the funds, that's important point, and a national electoral fund, it's an important suggestion that should be created, and crowdfunding can be there, and capping the expenditure of the political parties, it's an important goal. Supreme Court judgment of 1975 that came regarding section 77 of RPA Act should be implemented there, and the banning of corporate donations, that can be an option. Means totally ban should be there on the corporate donations, and a simple national electoral fund can be created there. So that is a legitimate one, and the guarantee of these rolls and voter verified paper audit trails, that faith should be there. These ballot papers, they can be scanned before the counting. That is also a legitimate suggestion here. And one big thing here, they say that one nation, one election should be there. They are pushing it for all the means, and so hard they are pushing for it. It's illogical in this sense, the way they are pushing it. Why? Because here what we have seen, once you elect an MP or MLA, that person is allowed for next 5 years. That person will not show his or her face again, and only during the election time or any major issue is there in that particular constituency, then that person will appear like a celebrity, and you cannot even see that person directly face to face. You cannot talk to that person, and that shows like a VIP, a big celebrity is coming, and there is a huge security threat, so surrounded by security people, a lot of money is spent on their security and something like that. And this is the way, and today is the phase where some MPs who are chosen, and people, unfortunately, they have elected those people, they are saying that they do not want to remain there at that post, and they cannot discharge their duties. Like in the case of Sunny Deol, he says that please take a person in place of me who would be discharging my duties. So this is the phase, this is a joke of the democracy, and this is a tight slap on the people. And actually this slap should be coming, because we are choosing these kind of people, these kind of MPs are being chosen. And on what name? On the name of a particular leader. Okay, on the name of Prime Minister of this country, you choose any kind of person here. That was the trail in this Lok Sabha election. And what kind of logic was that? You are choosing the most important people, most important authorities who will decide about policies, laws, who will sign on the important documents there, who will decide about the fate of the economy, fate of the employment situation, fate of the industries there, and the environment concerns, everything they will decide. And we are choosing those people there. We are sending those people in the temple of the democracy. And these people, they do not have any credibility. They do not have any quality, any professionalism they do not have. Just they chant the religious slogans there, and they are just hailed like great leaders. And a very problematic thing in this country, in everything, in every scheme, in every proposal, in every situation, in every talk, they say that a dream of our Prime Minister, dream of our Prime Minister. I am not against our Prime Minister, and he is an efficient man, he is a very hardworking man. But what is this logic? Calling him every time as a god. What is the thing? Only he has visions. Any other person in this country, they do not have any vision, they do not have any dream. What is the overhailing, and what is the point of calling him every time this, our Prime Minister's dream, our Prime Minister's dream, our Prime Minister's vision there? What is this thing? What is this glorification? Is it a democracy, or is it a tyrannous system? Is he a king, or is he a Prime Minister of a democracy? What is this issue? I am not against any person here. I am just against this particular trend. This is the trend, leads towards the tyrannous system. This is the trend, made Hitler as a tyrant there. Why we are glorifying in this way, and why we are just what we must say, taking a different trajectory every time, why we manipulate every proposal there, and why we are paralleling a particular person with this nation. The person cannot be a nation. Nation is made from many of people of this kind who have collective dreams. So it's a great thing that a person has dreams, a leader has dreams. But it is not something like that. Every time you say that a person has dreams and we are fulfilling those dreams, we should say that we are fulfilling country's dreams. It is not Prime Minister's dream. You have made a parallel here, and that is a huge concern. And that was the biggest problem in this Lok Sabha election, according to me. As a teacher, I must say this. I cannot be silent on this this very problematic thing. That's the case. So I'm very sorry if somebody is offended. I'm not against any person. I'm repeatedly saying. I'm just saying this trend is really objectionable. That's the case. And if it has happened in the past, then that was also equally problematic. And that's why we are at a phase where a lot of problems are surrounding us. But still, we see in all the data that it's a glorifying India. There is no mention of malnutrition, there is no mention of unemployment, there is no mention of inequality, there is no mention of poverty, there is no mention of hungry people, there is no mention of injustice to the tribals, there is no mention of people being thrown out on illegitimate regions. Just the glorification everywhere. So this is wrong. And this is wrong that on every street we see the posters of the same person whom we are glorifying so hard. Every minister, every MP is glorifying. What is the meaning? Is this a democracy or is it a tyrannous system? So that is the case. So we have to see these things, and that's why this is totally related to the elections, because elections were running only on this topic. And here the example of a party that the vote share of a particular party is 20%, but did not get any seat, 0 seats. This is wrong, because the first past the post system, FTP system, it has great flaws. And it was adopted because many limitations were there at that time. We did not have that much money, people were not that much educated, but today people are educated. We are spending 60,000, 70,000 crore rupees in elections, but we are not replacing the system with the efficient proportional representation system. In this system, what happens? Suppose 20 candidates are there and a person gets 8% of votes, but other candidates, they get less than 8%. What does that mean? That means that 92% people do not want that person. Maybe that person is a criminal. Maybe that person is a fraud person. Maybe that person is not good character wise, and he is not good for women. So 92% people know about that thing, and only 8% maybe his support due to some caste factor, due to some other region factor. So people are choosing that, and that person wins because he is getting vote more than other candidates. So this is FPTP system. And about the other issue of proportional representation, where the person who is going for the vote, the voter, he gives preferences to all the candidates. Like I want this person on the first preference, I want this person on the second preference, I want this person on the third preference. So this way a score is generated for every person, and the maximum score means maximum acceptability. So that person should win for sure. So that's an efficient system, but that was not followed. And we have seen this system in the Rajya Sabha election, in the election of present there. So that is the case. So we should follow the more efficient system here. And fidelity of the electoral roll is also a very legitimate thing. So this way a lot of suggestions are there, and you should go through the PDF. I have discussed all these things, and please think about all those things and tell me if I'm being illogical here, and if I make a mistake there, so please mention there. And if you think that it is appreciable, then please share these videos. So this is all in this article. Next, regarding jobless growth, the writer says that this trend is all established. We have discussed this issue in the past also, important for GS paper 2 and 3. Okay, 2 and 3. And two writers, K. Kannan and Ravindran, they say that scenario is still far from anything that would denote decent employment, because the absolute numbers are declining. 467 million people were employed and now 461. Economy is growing and not much mechanization and the machinery is being involved in the production there. So these numbers should rise. It is not something like every industry is using artificial technology perfectly and the numbers would decline. It is not the case with India, and not much manufacturing is there. So what is the reason that the numbers are declining? They should rise. They should have been more than 500 million, but they are declining. in the last 6 years, and this is really problematic. From 55% to 49.7% the labor force participation, a very problematic issue. Next, recent attempts by some to create an impression that self-employment has not been captured by the sample survey. This is a utter lie. This is a absolutely false statement, and this is totally misleading by the government. And unemployment rate at 6.1% is a huge number. So big this country, and these numbers should rise because we have much more educated and more skilled people. But the unemployment is 2.77 times of a 2012 number. So on what grounds we are saying that it's a glorious phase for India, stable government is running and all the goals are being achieved, India is looking at a different future there. So grave problems, and we are not discussing. What we are discussing? We are discussing the governments. They are all busy in horse trading. They are busy in taking MLAs on their side and forming a new government there. And the people who are in the government, they are complaining about those issues. They say that it is all illegitimate. So these are all slaps on the people of this country. But people of this country, they deserve this kind of things, because these people who are chosen, who were showing their colors before the elections, but people deliberately chose these people, believing on some nonsensical issue of religion, caste, or some over emotional, provoked and exaggerated nationalistic issues, which had no issue with the election process. Those are different issues. Those are very sensitive issues. But people chose these people, and in the name of some particular leader and in a fascination to a particular party there. And just because they have subscription to some emotional issues there, maybe they are religious or maybe they are nationalistic or patriotic. So that is the reason that no solution to these grave problems there, because they are busy in some nonsensical issues, and they are claiming for those issues. If they want to discuss these things in parliament debates where every minute costs lakhs of rupees, then they should go with some special sessions, parallel sessions, where they are discussing those things and some crucial issues. They should be given time here, but they are not being discussed here because no time there. Limited interaction is there, and they are just shouting on those areas. So that is the case. And gender dimensions and locational dimensions are there. Urban women, 10.8% unemployment rate. So huge concerning this issue is, suppose the condition of females in India, struggling a lot of struggle there, and who are educated, a huge struggle is there for them, because they have their own dreams. They know the reality. They want to spend a meaningful life ahead. They want to choose their own life partner. They want to have a say there. So they take the support of education. They take the support of jobs. But if the educated female in this country, they do not get jobs, then they are treated like the biggest culprits there. See the condition of this country. Educated people and the people who are employed and well mannered and have nice dreams and very responsible people, they are running for their lives because they are involved in some intercaste marriages. They are being hounded, they are being killed, and they are exploited even by the system. So what can be a worse country there? And we talk about so high claims there, and that's why these kind of nonsensical claims we see in front of us, because they want to derail all these talks. Where we need discussions, they are not discussing, and they are taking this country towards a different kind of path of some fascinating dreams, just the dreams, not any achievement. So that is the problematic thing. And these dimensions show us 10.8% urban women's employment rate, 7.1 for urban males, for rural men 5.8%, women for 3.8% for rural females. So all these data are problematic. And two issues, double whammy. Females are excluded from the labor force, and where they are included, they do not have access. So both the sides, there are slaps, and unemployment rate goes up as the level of education goes up. Secondary school data, 5.7% unemployment rate. For higher secondary, 10.3%. For that, people having diploma and certification, and these are specifically for the gaining of the job, 19.8%, around 20%, one-fifth of the people who are having diplomas and just to get jobs, they are unemployed. So it's a really concerning situation what these people will do. And that's why many suicides are happening. Why? Because they do not see any way there. And in the name of solution, what we are doing, we are horse trading MLAs and MPs. That's going on in this country. and that's the thing. That is the most important thing that we are discussing. We are discussing that how some leaders' luck is important in World Cup. That is the talk of the town. That is the talk of prime time debates. World Cup is going on. What is the issue in discussing that issue in prime time debates? You are wasting countries' time. You are wasting countries' enormous resources there, and you are confusing the people. You're not discussing the real issues there. For graduates, 17.2% of growth rate, 14.6% for the postgraduates. Where is the hope? And why these people will not be disheartened? And a disheartened youth, and you are thinking the country would grow for a $5 trillion economy. Shameful condition. But no discussion on these topics, and think at the intensity of the discussion. So cold their discussions are. If somebody is discussing those things, these should have a great level of intensity and great level of commitment and dedication. But you do not see their burden for the urban women around 20%. As I told you, the condition there, and for the educated women, it's a real double triple whammies. And in the age group of 15 to 29, the problem 17.8%, and for the urban females 27.2%. For 15 to 29, the marriage age, that particular phase, crucial phase, where they are trying to get a place in the society on their own feet, and you are just crushing their dreams there in this way. Are these not eligible? They are very sincere. If I tell you the reality, they are very, very sincere, very, very hardworking, who are rightly educated, properly dedicated, and they are trying to find to reach up to their dreams. Leave about the dreams. You are not even giving them any decent job there. So what you deserve of, and we are wasting thousands of crores of rupees on elections, thousands of crores of rupees on protection of these MLA MPs. What they fear of? These powerful people, what they fear of? Why we are wasting so much money? There is no recruitment in the police department. Thousands of vacancies are vacant in some crucial departments there. In judiciary, in medical staff, and reports say that we do not have any dearth of staff. We saw the condition in Bihar hospital, and they say that there is no dearth of medical professionals there. We are way above the WHO standard. We have 38 professionals for 10,000 people. These data are hardly believable, and we can see the ground situation there. You can visit in a city, in a district, maximum number of government hospitals. You go there and you count the medical professionals on your fingers, and you just compare their claims. So that's why it's a problem. A huge demand for the nurses jobs, and the jobs for male nurses in the medical staff and other professionals, doctors, and these radiologists. A lot of vacancies are lying vacant, but no issue of their employment talks. So that is the reality, and that's why a huge re-examination is needed. A link between the growth and the employment. On what basis we are growing, and who is taking the advantage of this particular growth of the economy? Only the 1% of the people who are the richest class, and that is the biggest question here. Next, treat with caution. We discussed this issue that 44 labor laws are being coded into 4 important wage codes. This issue is important for GS paper 2 and 3 again. And again a similar thing as first code came regarding the particular the code on wages bill, and that was a commendable one, and for sure government needs appreciation here. I'm in full support of the government here. These steps should be welcomed. Second code came regarding occupational safety, health and working conditions, but how they are going to be implemented, that is to be seen. There lies the problem. Third code is going to be regarding industrial relations, and that is really problematic. Vociferous protests are going on. And fourth one would be social security. So these things are going on in a public domain, but in which way they are going to implement that? This country needs dire economic reforms there, and we are in a dire need there. And job creation they must discuss, because the bigger issue is of the job creation. Labor reforms, they will need some time, but the job creation should be the utmost priority there. But we have not taken this thing to a priority, and the response till today is of denial. They deny that there is any job crisis in this country. The job report is open, but compare their clarifications in the parliament. They said that there is no job crisis, and now the labor data say that 6.1%. So they must take this thing on a priority, and many articles will come on this issue, and it's a small one. So that is to be taken here. Next, picking out the plastic, a very important issue of GS paper 2 and 3 again, and you can write a very important mains question regarding that. On the first article also, you must write an essay that what are the economic reforms, challenges and solutions there. Next, recycling is integral to addressing the problems posed by plastic packaging material. You see, CPCB recently pulled the ears for some companies, big companies, Flipkart, Amazon and Patanjali, these kind of companies. Why? Because they did not come up with any kind of action plan, which was mandatory condition within 6 months to 1 year. That extended producer's responsibility was a concept that was released 8 years back, but tighter rules brought up in 2016. But still, 3 years are gone and no step they have taken, not a single step. And these producers and brand owners earning thousands of crores of rupees every year, but no concern for these pollution issues and the plastic use. Internationally, this is the biggest issue going on, polluting the water bodies, oceans, and threatening and choking our existence. Aquatic animals are totally choked, and the segregation, collection, and the transmission was the mandatory provision there just to save that. And we are discussing the single plastic use ban. We have banned the import there. So it's our utmost priority for this world. But these companies, they do not have any concern. This e-commerce industry is going to grow by $200 billion by 2026. But no step they are taking there. So that's why we need to take steps here. India is the third highest consumer of the materials after China and the US. So obviously we are using packaging materials and plastic is being used here. And we need recycling, and with the recycling issue, there can be many positive ways open. Like you can say with the recycling, virgin material is again available, and it provides a substitute also, extend their lives also. So recycling is a good method, and solid waste management is a better idea, as we all know, but that's a difficult thing. So online retailers must take the steps here, and they must heed to the warnings of the CPCB now. Otherwise, a huge concern they have to take here. And they can create waste cooperatives in this country. That's a legitimate solution. Waste cooperatives, and they can employ these rag pickers and these people who are struggling for the on-time payments. So that's a better idea. They will get the job, and the solution is here for the pollution concern there. So we must say that it's a double-edged sword that we can use on the problems there. Two problems are being solved here, and two huge problems. So that's why this article is very important. Next, draft tenancy law is under discussion. They are demanding the comments there. In the draft, they say that there must be a cap on the security deposit. If the residential property is there, then 2 months maximum. If the non-residential, then 1 month maximum rent should be taken as a security deposit there. So that is the suggestion, and that is very much applicable in the metro cities there, because students find it very difficult to stay there, because unrealistic rents they are taking. For a single room they are charging sometimes 15,000-20,000 rupees, and unimaginable this thing is. This is not even a budget for a small town home there. So that's unrealistic and totally unjustified thing, and this draft talking on the very crucial points, and it's a commendable thing and commendable step by the government, and this Model Tenancy Act should be discussed thoroughly. Next, definition of child porn is redefined here. They say that animated content would also invite similar harsh punishments there, whether these are realistic videos or the graphic videos which are created. And now many websites are using this way. They are making these graphics or the tunes on these child porn issues. So they must be taken with utmost sincerity there, and harshest punishments should be there. Okay, and cabinet also enhanced the fine for possessing child porn to 5,000 from the earlier 1,000 rupees. So that is also good, but that should be way beyond that, because child porn is a extremely sensitive issue, and the POCSO is applicable there, as we all know. And next issue of Commonwealth. Commonwealth is a group of former British colonies, and it's a friendly group. They can opt out, or they may choose to become a member there. So that is all legitimate here.